Now I will show you how to get those shots that I showed you earlier without spending money on drones or expensive gimbals and all that stuff. So this is purely a how-to video or DIY. So if you were looking for something funny, this probably won't be that. So of course, first step is planning. So we take our trusty notebook, make sure it's expert, because we want this to be an expert professional job, don't we? Here I already have an outline of one of my cameras. I chose point and shoot camera, so the whole rig will be lighter and would not require heavy duty parts. But of course, feel free to adjust the size for your needs. Here is the camera itself. What I did is I marked where the center of the lens is, because the whole design is based on it. While camera rotating, the lens must be fixed in place, so the point of interest you are shooting doesn't move all over the screen. It should be fairly easy to accomplish that with this camera, because the tripod mount screw goes almost perfectly underneath the center of a lens. Let's look at other cameras. For example, this older version of GoPro. Screw hole is not aligned with the lens, so it might need a different rig or additional mounting place on the same rig. Later I will offer you a solution, but now I will try to explain why different cameras might not work with my shitty drawings. This is the camera you are building a rig for. The circle is lens, and this strange part is a mount that will be fixed on the rig. As said earlier, the lens is fixed in place and it can only rotate. Everything around the lens moves in circular trajectory. For example, this camera mount. What happens when you try mounting different camera? The lens is in a different place, but the rig is built to rotate from here. So the lens on a different camera will move around, and you won't be able to keep your point of interest in the center of the screen when you're shooting close-ups. Let's get back to the build. Here, I marked where the mount screw goes. How you will mount the camera to the rig is up to you. You can use some kind of brackets and plates, but then you will be building this literally for one camera model only. I decided to go with the ball head. As I found out later, it is a way to make this rig work with different cameras. I have the cheapest ball head on eBay, but now I highly recommend that you use more expensive. Ball head must be able to bend 90 degrees. So, we need that mount would rotate around the camera while lens is fixed in place. Take measure or just mark how much the mount bent in 90-degree angle extends from the camera and draw a circle. In my case, it is about 4 cm. The center of the lens is already marked, so we just need to draw a circle. Check one more time that the mount is inside the circle. Before cutting the circle, mark where the screw for the ball head should be. My head appears to be circle as well, so I just took caliper, measured the diameter, divided it in half and marked the result according to the circle edge. Transfer the circle blueprint on your desired material and cut it out. I used plywood, drilled holes in the center and where the ball head will be screwed. don't mind these other holes I made. For rotation, I used ball bearings. There are a few options. Flat bearing with mounting holes like this, it would go directly onto the circle like that. Other option that I will be using looks like this. You should closely inspect the bearings. For example, this one is faulty. Don't know if you can see, but it is unevenly pressed, sticking out on one side and too deep on the other. That would create a massive wobble during rotation. So, if you are buying these from eBay, order a couple of them. Test the bearing and your disc. Use a screw, a dowel or a small pipe. Put it through the hole on the circle and on the bearing. Don't forget to use few washers. Secure everything with a couple of regular nuts. Before tightening it down, it is always a good thing to check if it's working alright, there are no wobbles. Take off the bearing and attach it to a base plate. I used simple metal plate with holes for the bearing and for the tripod. Just run a screw with the washer through one of the holes on the plate and on the bearing. Secure it with the lock nut. Repeat that with the other hole and tighten it down. Then take the disc and put it through the bearing. At this point you can clearly see that my plywood disc is crooked or the bearing is faulty. But this is a prototype version, so it will have to suffice. Tighten the screws to hold the shaft on the bearing itself. Completely secure bearing onto the ball with a washer and a lock nut. Use a bolt and a washer to attach the ball head or a bracket. Next, if you will be using a quick release adapter to put the rig on your tripod or other stabilization device, take your quick release plate. If needed, install longer bolt and attach quick release plate to the base plate of the rotation rig. You are done. Now you can put this rig on a tripod and start experimenting. This is what the rig looks like with the GoPro attached. As you can see, the ball head really helps as it can rotate around itself, adjusting where the lens is positioned. It is not perfectly centered, but you can use it for not close-up shots for sure. I did some last-minute improvements. I added these small bolts to act as handles, so you could have better control of rotation. For the same purpose, I drilled some holes on the sides of the disc, so I can attach string or wire and have more even and longer rotation amplitude. Also, I added additional lock nut between the bearing and the disc, just to tighten the bearing in place and prevent the regular nut from loosening up. Now, I leave you with few more test shooting clips, and at the end of the video I will quickly run through what additional improvements this rig needs. So here's what should you consider. Get a good ball head from the start, because later you will have to redo everything. Since the rig is mainly circle, it would be a good idea to add a handle to the side or to the back that would let you rotate with precision. Or add counterweights opposite of the ball head, because now it is really hard to control. Further on, I would add second bearing further apart. That would minimize the wobble created by defected bearings. And also make sure the disc is flat, even, not crooked. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Bronki dusha labi.